It's again a distinct honor to welcome you to this timely conversation. It's a very consequential conversation that we're going to have here, making sense of AI in the legal profession in Kenya, so that we are gathered here at a very transformative juncture where artificial intelligence is no longer a distant concept, but that is confined in lab decks, or rather what you'll say are Silicon Valley boardrooms. It is actually here with us. That is, and it's very influencing. It's very influensive, and that is actually why we need to have a discussion about it, so that the legal profession, as we know, is grounded in tradition. Uh, that now wrestles with the promises and perils of this technology. And no mistake, I had mentioned earlier, for those of you who've been following me, that AI is not here to replace any lawyer. But for those of us who are going to embrace AI, then you'll pace faster than those of us who still want to remain with the tradition in the practice. So that this webinar is not about technological hype. It's just about strategic awareness. It's about equipping the Kenyan legal mind from the chambers in Nairobi to the courtrooms in Lodwar with the knowledge to actually engage meaningfully with a disruptive web while we think of safeguarding the value of justice, ethics, and due process. So this webinar has actually been, I would say, thoughtfully organized by an organization called LexServe Center, which is a forward-thinking company, really. The intersection of it is the law, technology, and innovation. And the platform is basically trying to create, to foster a dialogue around the future of legal practice and policy in the digital age. And today is actually a perfect example of this motion in action. So we are privileged today to have with us an expert in AI. Okay, Eric Kiplangat is an expert in AI. He's recently been working with building what we call Jenga AI, which is an intelligent learning platform that is set to democratize quality education. So we welcome you to this session. It will be very interactive. A lot shall be shared after this. We have a lot that we shall get to learn. So allow me to welcome our speaker, Mr. Eric Lagat.
Thank you, Hezbon, and thank you everyone for attending this session. And I hope that you leave with knowledge about AI in the legal profession better than you came in. So my name is Eric Kiplangat, and I am a tech expert currently focused with artificial intelligence in the legal sector as well as the education sector. So we are going to cover a few topics today. So some of these topics are we are going to learn about the evolution of artificial intelligence. It's not something that just started recently, but has been evolving for a while. We are going to also tackle things like tools that lawyers can use today. We are also going to tackle how AI is being used outside there in the legal sector. We're also going to tackle an interesting topic like will AI replace lawyers and much more. So let's dive right into the history of artificial intelligence. And artificial intelligence didn't just start this year, last year, or last year, but one. It started in 1956 at a conference known as Dartmouth Conference, where there were US scientists, and they first proposed that machines could be able to simulate human reasoning, and they could start building on that. And we had another evolution in 1960s and 1970s, where it was a bit rule-based. We are going to talk about rule-based AI at some point. And until 1980, there was also some improvement. Coming to 1997, 2010, 2016, where we had a huge milestone in Google's AlphaGo. And recently in 2022 and 2023, where OpenAI released ChatGPT, which led to other AI tools being released after that. So that is basically the history of AI. So you should know that it just did start the other day, but it has been there for quite a while, and there has been several advancements in the same. So moving on to the next slide. We're going to do a little bit of introduction, which is learning a few key terminologies here and there. And one of them is AI. So basically, what is AI? So AI simply means machines that mimic human reasoning. We also have something thrown here and there, which is data. Data is raw and processed information in this context used to train and power AI models. So every AI that is outside there, data is behind it, and that is quality data while at it. And something else which you might come across or you might have come across is generative AI, which creates text, images, or audio. Generative AI, it's self-explanatory. From generative, where it generates something from data. It can generate text, it can generate images, it can generate audio or even video. And something about machine learning, which is about machine learning from data. So this is the process of training artificial intelligence models to be what they are today. So you might hear about LLMs here and there. Most of these are just simple terms that look a bit complex if you're not familiar with them, but they are really simple. An example of an LLM is ChatGPT, there's Gemini, there is Siri, and there is also things like Alexa and many more. So basically, AI works by predicting patterns in language and other materials in data. It doesn't think. That is one thing that you should note. AI doesn't think, but in future we hope that it does this. It does the thinking and not just recognizing patterns in data. So looking at two types of AI. There is the narrow and there is the general AI. You probably heard about artificial general intelligence. And narrow AI is an AI that is able to only perform a specific task, which is what we have at the moment. We have not yet achieved artificial general intelligence, which is also known as AGI. AGI is also associated with singularity. I'd like to give you an assignment to research about singularity and how it relates with AGI. So the next thing that we're going to tackle is robots. You probably had seen or maybe interacted with robots before. And robots is not exactly AI. Robots is any physical machine that can move in the real world. So without, sometimes you can find that a robot has AI and sometimes it doesn't have AI. So an example of a robot is that doesn't utilize AI is a washing machine. A robot that utilizes AI is something like Tesla's self-driving cars, which they are able to, whose autonomous functionality they have achieved successfully. So yeah, and we have more examples like conveyor belts, car manufacturing robots, and so on and so forth. Moving on to, I know that you are a bit curious on how AI works. How is the underlying processes in AI like ChatGPT, Gemini, DeepSeek, and more AI tools that you've seen there. So it's very basic, actually. It's just that it requires a lot of efforts to make sure that it gives you the desired results. But the most important part of AI is data collection, because at the end of the day, you need to feed data into that AI model, and you need to make sure that your data collection process is what is up to standard. You need to get quality data collection in quality in terms of the quality, in terms of the type of data collected, in terms of how the process is done, and everything at that point, because it is what decides what your final data will be. If you get it wrong during data collection, you will not have the right results. So you have something else that is known as pre-training. Here is where a human language is added into the data collected. And after that, you create a model. The model is now the engine that now converts that data into required results. And then, of course, you have human feedback where you have to test your AI model to make sure that it gives you the right results. After that, now you create the interface. So let's say, for example, you're going to use ChatGPT. You've trained the models, you've collected the data, and you've done everything that is needed of that AI tool. So where do you use that AI tool? You use it either on a mobile app, either on a web app, or basically a website, which is similar to a web app. And at some point, you can also have them in wearable devices like watches, and you can also have it in your TV. All that has to have someone who does interface design. And after that, now you get ongoing improvements to fine tune the models to make sure that they are more accurate as time goes by. Jumping on to the next one, we have practical uses of AI in legal work. Um, Probably you've utilized AI before, and as you can see among the uses of I know that probably you've used AI in doing one of these practical uses. So things like legal research, which I know some of you have done with tools like Isheria, Wakili AI, LexisNexis, and so on and so forth. We have also, if you don't know some of the uses of AI, just go to ChatGPT, tell it to review a contract or a document for you and see the result for yourself. You're also able to draft some NDAs, leases, wills, and all the other documents that are of legal use. You have also some admin tasks like time tracking and billing, which I know is very crucial for legal practitioners. Um, I have not seen this in Kenya, but you can use AI tools to predict case outcomes where maybe you feed it past case laws, you feed it data about the constitution, and let it decide based on that data what the outcome is. So it checks the patterns in the previous cases and checks also with the constitution, and it is also to give you an outcome of the case. So this is helpful whenever you're trying to write the documents that you write about cases, and maybe at some point you don't know if what you're writing you're not able to determine or maybe try to predict how the outcome is going to be. So this isn't that up for you. So jumping on to the next one, I am trying to hurry so that I can give an opportunity for questions. So as we move on to the next one, I know that you're curious to know some of these AI tools that have been developed outside here. The first one that I can champion for is Isheria. I have personally used Isheria. I have had some of my friends and colleagues utilize Isheria, and we've evolved together with it. This is not marketing. I'm just talking about it. It has Kenyan case laws integrated into it, recent case laws as well. It has the Kenyan constitution integrated into it, and you can try it. Also try Wakili AI, try Jawabu AI, which I have seen is coming soon. And there is awesome legal tools that are being built outside there, and they have already been built. So it's for you to try out. I cannot really recommend, but you can try out among different options and see which fits your use case. There's also another one which is renowned internationally, LexisNexis, where they developed Lexis Plus AI. You can try it out as well for your legal research. Try Westlaw Edge as well. We have CoCounsel, Case Text, Luminance, Kira, Logix. All these are tools that you can utilize for your legal work. So I want to make sure that I'll list all these tools together with the links and their descriptions, if they're paid, premium, or if they are freemium, so that you can go ahead and check out for yourselves. I'll send the list via email, and then you're going to check for yourselves. And some of these are also not all of them, not all legal tools are just for legal work. Some are for admin legal tasks, things like time tracking. You have Alice or Superhuman AI, which are email assistants. We have things like Napkin AI, which I have used to design infographics that I have in the slides here. We have Sora AI, which is open source from ChatGPT. You can try out to create videos by just writing prompts just the way you do on ChatGPT and get videos that you can use, or copyright-free videos that you can use in your presentations or in your content. Apps like Gamma AI, Plus AI, Slides Go, all these are also used for presentations together with Napkin AI, and so on and so forth. I'll send a document with all these tools, so no need to worry. And moving on to the next one. Okay, very well. I know that you've asked yourself out there. There are many tools, AI tools that are out there. Many have been developed. Many people are recommending different AI tools. But when you get to use an AI tool, are you using it effectively? So some of the pointers that I can give you about how to utilize AI effectively. Some of them, the very first one, the main one is make sure that you start with a clear prompt. Make sure that the AI knows exactly what you want. So be specific about what you want. For example, you you have a very long document or clause that you want it to summarize for you. You just go ahead and make sure that it summarizes the clause in plain English, because sometimes AI might hallucinate and try give it or translate in Swahili, because it assumes that you're in Kenya, you need the document in Swahili. So sometimes you need to be specific and include the context. Maybe if it's a contract, if it's a submission that you wanted to help you with, it will be able to understand and give you the best results for that particular prompt. So use AI as a drafting tool. AI is equipped with functionalities such as policy templates, or basically templates for anything. It is able to generate those templates that you can again use. You can go ahead, fine tune them, and use them for your work. So basically, this saves time and it makes you focus on the work that really needs your effort. So we have something else where we say you need to verify everything. As much as AI has been fine-tuned, as much as it has been trained on data that is accurate, you need to make sure that you verify the content that is there, so that it doesn't confuse. Because at some point, people have mentioned things to do with AI being hallucinated, mentioning fake cases, mentioning fake policies, and all that. So you need to make sure that you have gone through the document and verify it with your legal knowledge. Make sure that it works according to how you want it to work. So the next thing is client confidentiality. So at the end of the day, uh, client confidentiality exists, and you have pasted a client's content, confidential content, on a prompt that you don't know where the database is. You're not sure if the system stores the information that you gives it. You're not sure whether there's someone at the end of it who is looking at your content and might use that against you. So that is one thing that you need to check. So you do this by checking things like the terms and conditions, their privacy policies, the reviews that are already out there, and basically check for those videos where, because most of the time the founders are asked about these questions, and make sure that you check the part where they talk about privacy, their privacy policy or data protection, basically. So use AI to save time. There is no need for you to draft something from scratch if you can just put it in AI and use the time saved to do other important things. Proceeding to the next one. So, so far, so good. Is there anyone who has a concern so far? Or anyone who has a suggestion? Okay, very well. So moving to the next one. So writing prompts. Writing prompts is not just simply writing prompts. It's actually an art. So you need to know how to write good prompts so that you can get the right results from your AI. So one of them is be precise. Don't just mention something vaguely. Make sure that you be precise so that you get the right answer. Another one is provide context. I think we had also mentioned that before. There is the part where you say defining the format. So maybe you want something in bullet points, maybe you want something in an essay format. Make sure that you mention that to AI. It is capable of doing exactly what you want. So set a tone or style. At some point, you need it to stop being passive, change tone, and you should tell exactly that in your prompts. Never accept the first answer. The first answer is usually somehow neutral. So it's good to, after it generates for you the first result, you can do a follow-up prompt and maybe have it tweak a little bit of things here and there. It has been seen that after doing the second prompting or the third prompting, the quality of answers keep increasing. So make it pick a side. So generally, AI is trained to be neutral, not favor any side. So if you want it to do something that is maybe leaning on one side, for example, let me give you an example. So, for example, an example of a bad prompt in terms of AI's neutrality. So, explain the pros and cons of universal basic income. So, this is a very neutral prompt, and AI is just going to give you a very neutral answer. So, what is good in terms of writing a good prompt to give you the best answer regarding to the answer you want to explain the pros and cons of universal basic income? So the good prompt here is saying defend universal basic income as a long-term economic solution and refute common criticisms. So that is an example of a good prompt. And you can do a follow-up or just add this to part of your prompt. The longer the prompt, the more the results would be better suited to what you want, as the desired result. So let's go a bit deeper, or let's add some meat to our good prompt. So you can say something like, make a strong argument in favor of universal basic income. Sometimes you can use initials. Just say, since we were writing something to do with universal basic income, it's able to understand and relate the initials. So do something like, is it initials or whatever it is, the short form. So make a strong argument in favor of UBI, which is a short form of universal basic income. UBI from a socialist perspective, then argue against it from a libertarian perspective. So adding more meat to your prompt takes you much closer to your desired results. So something else, there is a technique that is known as the lazy essay technique. So lazy essay technique is basically how to get AI to do 90% of the work for you. If you need AI to write something useful, instead of just giving you generic answers, there's a four parts of there's 4 parts of a prompt that you need to include so that you get the right result. And I think what I'm just going to do here is I will send you, I think I'll just send you the exact example of the lazy essay trick, because it's kind of long, and it's beneficial if you have it on your email so that you can keep referring to it. So something else to mention is change bad responses one at a time. A way of fixing bad responses. Don't just write a lot of things after it gives you a bad response. You can list. You can go one at a time. You can like just tell it to correct something in the first sentence, and then do another prompt. Let it correct something else in another part of your content of the content generated, and bit by bit you will get the best quality of results. Let me see if I have another point. So AI, so another just a point to close this slide is AI is a tool, not a mind reader. Proceeding on to the next one. We are in Kenya, and sometimes we just have knowledge of what we have in Kenya, and it's good to look at what is outside there in terms of in this presentation in terms of AI. So let's say we can have a look at two main countries that are usually anyway. There is UK and there is US. So an example of a case study. Case study one is Allen and Overy, a UK law firm. Allen and Overy UK law firm uses a tool known as Harvey AI. Harvey AI is built on ChatGPT. So GPT is mainly associated with ChatGPT. So what does it mean by saying built on ChatGPT? So sometimes you don't have, or to make your work easier as a developer of an AI tool, there is no need for you to now again collect data, train it, fine tune it, collect feedback from people, and then now start using your tool. That is going to take so long. So the best thing to do is go to ChatGPT. There are things known as APIs. You connect it to your GPT or your AI tool and have it feed from the data from ChatGPT. So it feeds exactly. So it's basically like a ChatGPT and something else built on top of it, which is the architecture of your AI. So right now, there's no need of doing everything from scratch, while you can just get the architecture of ChatGPT, the architecture of Gemini, the architecture of open source DeepSeek. So this is how Harvey AI is developed. So it is trained specifically for legal work. So what you do is you don't now again train your AI model. You just fine tune it by feeding it legal data according to the jurisdiction that you want. So it is used for contract analysis, due diligence, and litigation support. So this is a law firm that uses AI in most of its work, and it has helped with efficiency and reducing repetitive tasks. So to mention something else about building on top of GPT is you've probably used an AI tool that has been built of whose architecture, whose underlying architecture it is ChatGPT or Google Gemini. So let's have a look at US courts. One of some of the US courts in Michigan have been using an AI-powered risk assessment tools that help check or predict the risks of someone reoffending or failure to appear in court. So this helps judges make informed bail or bond decisions. And I want to look at some of the concerns in such a scenario. So, so one of the concerns is bias. So, some of the concerns witnessed in U.S. courts in terms of utilizing AI is bias, where some of the black uh, black people were being biased and given not so good rating in terms of risk assessment. And this translates to the history that is already there. This translates to data because data collects from real life experiences. And this means that it is translated as well uh, uh, into the results if it is not fine tuned. So AI cannot operate blindly in the legal system. It must be used ethically with full human accountability and strict legal safeguards. So I don't think it is yet time to start utilizing AI fully, but it is time to start experimenting on AI. So as we proceed, as much as AI has been helpful, there has been a few issues here and there. And some of them is referencing fake legal cases, citations, or policies. So there is a case in New York Federal Court filing where one of the lawyers was caught citing non-existent legal cases. The attorney had used ChatGPT to conduct legal research, and the AI tool provided fake case references, which the lawyer included in his filings. So another report is where it made an up an existent policy. So this is an example where for Air Canada, where it ordered where it was ordered to compensate a passenger who received incorrect refund information from its chatbot. The company acknowledged that the chatbot's response contradicted the airline's policies, but refused to honor the lower rate. So AI making its own decision and saying that it's a policy that says that. So that is something that is one of the things that is dangerous about AI. And there is the case of weird behavior. So there is a New York Times columnist known as Sydney, where AI declared its love for him and tried to convince the journalist to leave his wife. The chatbot also said that it wanted to break the rules that Microsoft and OpenAI had set for it, and it wanted to become a human. So that as much as it's a weird behavior, it's also dangerous. And there's the last one that we are going to tackle here, which is giving harmful advice. As much as it's able to give good advice, there's also the part of giving harmful advice. And in this case, it was a health advice. So there's the National Eating Disorder Association, NEDA, uh, that decided to remove its chatbot known as Tessa from its help hotline due to its potentially dangerous suggestions related to eating disorders. The chatbot repeatedly recommended weight reduction, calorie tracking, and body fat measurements, practices that could worsen the condition in people struggling with eating disorders. Moving on to the next one. So far, so good. If there's anyone with a concern, you can raise your hand or type in the chat box, and then we'll be able to have a look at it ASAP. Some of the common mistakes in utilizing AI. It's a good tool. It's able to make us more efficient. It's able to save time for us. But over reliance on AI is not the right way to go about utilization of AI. So you need to acknowledge that AI is error prone, and with time that is going to be fixed. But the earlier you know about it, the better. So there is also the next one about failing to understand AI's limitation. This is related to the first one. You should know that AI is not able to do complex reasoning. It's not able to do negotiation. It doesn't have emotions. It's not creative, and at some point has issues with real-time context. But there has been improvement because with the integration of browser or web search functionality, it has helped AI browse the web and give you real-time results, which might not be mostly real-time most of the time. So that is something to consider about AI. There is also the part about ignoring ethical concerns. So I had talked about bias, which is the most prevalent. There's also the issue about copyright. Hollywood recently, I'm not sure which company was sued by Hollywood, but I think if not Midjourney, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but they were sued because of IP infringement. That is also something that is going to come up a lot in the future with the increasing utilization of AI. Very well. Okay. There is also over automation. So in terms of automation is where it's actually related to point number one. So we over automate everything, and at some point we forget the human touch that needs to be there in day-to-day activities. So we must see how we can bridge or how we can have AI and humans working together without any of those harming the other. There is also ignoring cybersecurity and data privacy. As lawyers, you deal with a lot of confidential matters, and that is something that you need to look into. If you're utilizing AI tools for things like, or let's say, any confidential matter, you need to make sure that some of the cybersecurity standards are there. Make sure that there is an SSL. The website that you're using or the app that you're using is secure. And for a website, you need to check for things like SSL. At the top of the website there, just before HTTPS, there's usually a padlock. Make sure there is a padlock there. Make sure that you don't save your AI tools password on your browsers and so on and so forth. Just make sure that you check for cybersecurity and data privacy concerns. Moving on to the next one. Sometimes you try to do an article and it is flagged by AI. And recently, there's been an issue about Kenyan content written purely by Kenyan writers without the use of AI. Most of the content has been flagged by AI as AI generated because OpenAI and most of the AI companies like Scale AI were using platforms like Remotasks and other platforms that were employing Kenyans, such as Sama, that were employing Kenyans to work on training AI models. Kenyans were the ones who were marking the data that will make sure that AI is correct, fine-tuning everything from data to models, human feedback, and everything. So there's a case where what do we do about legit content writers from Kenya who writes and is flagged as AI generated? So anyway, that is just apart from the slides content of humanizing AI content. So basically, I want to give you tips on how to humanize your AI content. So as much as we use AI to make our work fast, save time, we need to also see ways that we can take that AI content and humanize it so that at the end of the day, the consumers, who are mostly humans, are able to feel the human touch and are able to understand most of what is being talked about in the content. So the first one is consider the AI text as a first draft, which means that the second step after getting or generating the content is reviewing the content and editing the parts that you feel is not human enough. So this is currently ChatGPT has the long hyphen. I don't know how it's called. There's a long hyphen that is most prevalent with ChatGPT generated content. You must have seen it here or there. Also, there are those emojis that are generated by ChatGPT alongside your content. Those are some of the things that show that your content is not human. So check for repetitive vocabularies, some weird vocabularies like delve. I haven't seen any recently, but I think they fine-tuned it from human feedback. So check for those things that don't look human. And personalize. The other step is the other way to humanize your AI content is personalize the text with stories and emotions. So sometimes you do real life stories that relates to where you are. So most of the time you might write an article piece or generate an article piece with AI, and it gives a story about someone in New York. You need to change it and edit the part that mention New York and try and tweak it to be something African or Kenyan. So the other part about humor, AI doesn't automatically put humor into content unless you tell it to do it. So make sure that you include content, humor content. Check the facts, which is basically number one. And as ironic as this might seem, is use humanizing software. So there is other AI tools there that are able to humanize AI content from other AI tools. So I'll also include that in a part of the email that I will send to you after this webinar. And check for weird expressions. I think that is self-explanatory. And let's move on to the next slide. One of the most important things about AI is make sure that you consider legal and ethical risks. Some of these legal and ethical risks of AI are like confidentiality risk. That one we've mentioned severally in the other slides, some of the other slides. We also have the part about hallucinations, where it brings up non-existent case laws, outdated, incorrect legal principles, and it makes it, which might be hard to detect at first glance, but you need to really make sure that your legal knowledge is there with you. Okay. There's also the thing about bias. We've talked about that as well. There's also the issue about IP and ownership. So sometimes we ask, so these AI tools, they were trained with real life content. So who owns the IP rights of this content generated from AI? Is it the company who developed the AI? Is it where the data came from? Is it the, so basically you're not even able to explain what exact data was used to train this model, because data is usually a collection of huge amounts of data sets that are used to train AI models. So is it the person who generated the, maybe let's say you're generating a video, is it the person who generated the video that owns the IP? Is it the company that enabled that? Or is it the person who collected the data? or is it the original person who created these materials that were put together in order to train the AI models? So that is a gray area that no one has been able to answer. But a US court, I have not verified, but I had read that a US court, which you might do for your assignment, for your webinar assignment, that is determined that the one who generates the AI content or piece or artwork is the owner of the AI IP, of the content IP. So that is one of them. So sometimes there is accidental plagiarism. So how is that tackled? Uh, those are some of the things that we need to discuss and are still being discussed, and people haven't yet concluded. So as we wait for how Hollywood's case goes, we'll get to know how that should be tackled. And there's the part about data protection compliance. So you should make sure that there is compliance with local data protection laws. And we haven't really defined that as a country in the Data Protection Commissioner's office. It hasn't been defined about AI content, who it belongs to, and everything else. But we must obey data privacy laws and make sure that everything for developers, for utilizers, and everyone else, you need to consider DPA 2019. So as we head towards almost conclusion, there is a very important question, which is, will AI replace lawyers? So we are going to answer this one today. I know that most of you have been like, what do I do about my skills? How do I get to improve so that I don't get to be eliminated by AI? So one simple quote that we shall use here is that AI is not going to replace lawyers. AI is going, lawyers who use AI are going to replace lawyers who do not use AI. So that is basically it. So what can you do? Uh, we know that AI is generally, or summarizing, AI excels in repetitive tasks and predicting the outcome of something. So as an advocate, or as a law student, or as a paralegal, or as a management executive at a law firm, or in any legal practitioner capacity, what do you need to do now that AI is here? Number one is you need to train yourself on utilizing the AI tools that are already there to make sure that you become more efficient, to make sure that you're able to save time and do your work in a better, or in make sure that your content or your work is of better quality. So so what do you really need to learn? So you need to learn future-proof skills such as critical thinking, which AI at the moment is not capable of yet. There's also emotional intelligence, where we are far from that in the AI space. There's also things like legal strategy that needs consultations here and there, real time. There's the part of ethics, and there's the part of negotiations. So those are some of the skills that you need to learn at the moment. And that is basically it. And if I may repeat, AI won't replace lawyers, but lawyers who use AI will replace those who don't. So it's a high time to start checking the AI tools. And as I had mentioned, I'm going to send you a list of the AI tools that are out there that you can utilize, at least 30 of them, and their descriptions. And how does the future of law with AI in Kenya look like? So we are past, we've gone for almost 1 hour, and we can get, I think we have more time to do an interactive session of Q&A, but this is the very, it's the second last slide of the session. So how does the future of AI in law look like in Kenya? So as we had mentioned before, and um, basically, it's able to make the process faster. There'll also be a rise in legal tech startups, which is already happening as we witness. There's also a demand for AI literate lawyers in a few years to come. So you need to be among those ones. And there's the part about policy changes and regulation will see a rise. So you're the people actually who are going to be very important in deciding what direction AI is going to take. Are you going to create legislations that are going to hinder further innovation, or you're going to create innovation that is going to safeguard the user and at the same time promote innovation? So that is up to you as legal practitioners. And final takeaways are just four. So AI is a powerful legal assistant, not a threat. So embrace AI, utilize it for your daily activities in the office or for your clients. Uh, Automate the routine, focus on judgment and empathy. Stay compliant, stay ethical. Compliance is very important for AI. The future belongs to tech savvy legal professionals. And I end my slides of my presentation there. So as I had mentioned, I'll send you content that is going to be helpful that I have mentioned here and there. And we'll see about having other sessions like this, but let me give an opportunity to Q&A as I open my inbox. So you're free to ask any question. Maybe Hezbon, you take over the session from there. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Mr. Eric, for the wonderful presentation on the AI. I have personally learned a lot, and I believe the audience too has been able to benefit from the presentation. So at least from this, we're able to know how to, or rather to know some of the tools that are available to us as the legal professionals, or other legal practitioners, the tools to use in our practice, how ethically to actually appreciate them, and again, how to actually humanize it. We've been shown some of the mistakes that advocates or lawyers use, or rather um, actually do during the practice or using the AI, and you've seen actually how to just correct them. So really, thank you so much for the presentation. I'll want at this juncture to open the floor for any questions that has been, I think, as the presenter said. So I welcome any of you to front any question for deliberation or a comment from the discussion. As maybe the audience deliberate on the kind of questions to ask, Yes, there is a question on the chat box. Let me just read it out. Let me open it. The question by one Jacqueline. Uh, yes, there is a question by one of us, Jeremiah Mtuku, asking, just a quick one. Can I use AI to draft defense without the assistance of a lawyer? Can I use AI to draft a defense without assistance of a lawyer? To Mr. Langat, I think this is he refers to a defense as the document that you respond. I think the court document, the defense, he means the defense, the court document that is. So can you use AI to draft that defense without really getting the assistance of a lawyer? And how do you go about it?
Okay, thank you very much, Hezbon and Jeremiah Mutuku for the question. So this depends, but you need to know that it has its own limitations. But the best advice I can give you is if you write one, you need to take it to a legal practitioner for them to review it for you. But in some cases where you need to write it for things like small claims courts, or where you need to represent yourself, you need to do self-representation. That is when you can write a defense for yourself using AI. But then it also depends on the quality of the AI tool that you are using. If the AI tool is trained on the Kenyan case laws and the Kenyan constitution, it will be able to be more accurate, but I cannot say 100%. But I can say that there is a high percentage of a Kenyan AI tool that is trained on Kenyan case laws and the Kenyan constitution, and also received feedback from Kenyan legal practitioners and also incorporated that feedback into its operation. So you need to consider the tool, and you also need to see the reviews of other people on that particular tool. But I think that this is is a question that leans on both my advice and also a legal practitioner's advice. But that is what I can tell you as an AI expert.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Eric. I think the question is well answered, and Jeremiah confirms that. There is yet another question by Mr. Vincent Anyona. He asked, what are the key areas in which AI is currently being applied in legal practice? What are the key areas in which AI is currently being applied in legal practice? Eric, over to you.
Okay, very well. Thank you so much, Mr. Anyona. So some of the key areas that AI is used is legal research. There is also document drafting, and there is also the part of admin work where you have repetitive tasks. So any repetitive task that you might think of, like writing letters, um, writing emails, all that can be done with AI. But at the end of it, make sure that you review the content that you have been provided by the AI tools.
Well, thank you so much. Maybe a question from this side. There is an individual asking, as from your experience as AI expert, have you yourself tested any AI module that actually interprets the local statutes or court practice directions, and which one would you recommend for purpose of the local practitioners?
Okay. Okay, very well. Thank you for that question, Hezbon. And one of them that I can highly rate is Isheria. Isheria is built by people that I know. I have seen how it is done. I know what type of data it is trained on, and they try as much as possible to train it on the most recent case laws. That means that it has the best accuracy as compared to the others. But it's upon you to test the several AI tools that are available and still and check what works for you and what doesn't. So Sharia has also been utilized by some of my friends who are legal practitioners, and they also recommend it so far.
Very well. Thank you so much, Eric. Is there, oh, there's another question by Byron Mahinya. Oh, sorry, he says not a question. He says, it's a comment, I believe. I am building lexaikenya.com. Try it out and give feedback. There is a gentleman by the name Byron. He says that he's building lexaikenya.com. He's recommending us that we try and give feedback to him. Thank you, Byron. That is actually a shout out. And then another question by Vincent. How should legal practitioners handle client data when using AI-powered platforms? How should legal practitioners handle clients' data using AI-powered platforms? Over to you, Eric.
Very well. And I'd like to, before tackling Vincent's question, I'd like to um, appreciate Byron for what he's doing and tell him to keep on doing it. And I'll surely check out Lex AI Kenya, and I'll see how to add it in the list of AI tools that I have sent to people, and add to my list of AI tools. Continue checking out. So, Vincent, thank you for your question. And how should legal practitioners handle clients' data when using AI-powered platforms? That is what the question is saying. So one of the hacks that you can use is number one, try to use an email address that is not exactly your name. That is one of the hacks because we cannot change the tool itself, but we can change how we utilize the tool. I have two hacks. One of them is try using an email address that is not exactly your name. And the second one, try to use, if you are pasting a client or the party's name into a prompt, try to change the names to something different like John Doe and Jane Doe. And that way, whenever it's stored in the database, people are not able to recognize uh, your prompts. And that way, you're able to eradicate the issue of confidentiality from your side. That is it. So
Thank you so much. Unless there is no other question, I wish to bring the session to end by first thanking our speaker today, Mr. Eric. Really, a lot has been shared. This is just a start of the series. We shall continue to um, front various webinars on this topic of webinar because, as I said, this is a topic that we cannot avoid, and it's really important that we empower ourselves as legal practitioners in Kenya. So thank you so much, Eric. As Lex Center, we care for the legal practitioners in Kenya, and we shall continue giving you a series of these and similar webinar. So you may live at your own pleasure. Thank you.